Welcome to Computer Vision Streams. I'm your host Anton. Today we continue with DeepStream test application in Python version. And today's application is DeepStream test2. Simple example of how to use DeepStream elements for a single H.264 stream that starts with file source, decodes stream looks, primary inventor, the tracker, inventor secondary, and visualization of bounding boxes. Let's go to the default implementation and to Pythonic version of this implementation. So here we have two files, and we see that Pythonic version will be around 60 lines smaller, and the pipeline will be easier to read as if you just read the documentation for this application. Let's see that we achieve the same results. First, we will run our Pythonic version. Here we see detections in the output of the probe and the output of tracker information. Next, we can go to DeepStream samples applications and run in the same command. The color is a little bit different, but we have exactly the same functionality. So, if you want to learn how to create a Docker file for this application, you can check out previous video. And if you want to learn more details about transformation from standard version to more Python version, you can check the DeepStream test1 application where I go into the more details. Here we will just see the difference between DeepStream test1 and DeepStream test2 application. So first of all is that we have more elements. So here we just have in the inter, and here we have in the inter, in the tracker, and in the inter. Also, we can observe in the code of the application that after we created all the elements of our pipeline, we have a lot of different parameter settings. And for the tracker, we even parse a separate file for tracker configuration, and we set multiple parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters. We will see how to make it more visible. So we will be using JST parse launch. You can check details and explanation about it in the previous video of DeepStream test1 application. And here we will just observe how to use it. So here we will create our pipeline, and instead of creating all the elements and checking all the errors and then setting parameters to those elements, we can parse our parameters that we would like to use, and then we can create pipeline string using Python format strings and use all our parameters as input location, batch size, and all the configuration of our pipeline. And then I found that good practice is to output this pipeline to understand exactly what are you running, and maybe to use JSP launch to debug if there were some problems with configuration or pipelines was not linking, and maybe you are not using correct plugins, or you need maybe and maybe NVIDIA convert somewhere. Here you can see that we use tracker config string that was created here. Also, another approach would be we can keep the same code, but after we used JST parse launch and before we started the main loop and put our pipeline to status plain, we can get all the elements that we would like to modify from our pipeline. This pipeline will get by name, and then we can update the configuration exactly the same as in DeepStream test2 simple application with set property. But I choose this way with tracker config string. That makes it more compact. With probe, the code is pretty simple. We use exactly the same trick with iterator that simplifies the code a little bit. But otherwise, the code is exactly the same, and the iteration over tracker metadata will be exactly the same, so there are no specific modifications to do. I hope this video was helpful. You can find the samples in my GitHub repository. And don't hesitate to contact me for different questions about DeepStream, computer vision, and smart AI applications. And I will see you in the next episode.